Hey everybody, it's next day. I'm still in Montreal, and I'm just gonna walk around. There's like a little farmer's market here. I might get something for my friend in Vermont. Yeah, there's a bunch of little things that I want to do. I don't know, I'm like checking out this whole Atlas Obscura website. And there's like benefits and downsides. The benefit is like you get a lot of little kind of small interesting things, but you don't have anything big. And also a lot of stuff ends up being kind of like outdated. But for me, I don't have a lot of time here. I've already been to Montreal, like I said before, and I really like it as a city. Actually, I would spend time, like if I could spend time just like actually living here for a bit, that would be really cool. There's a certain kind of charm to it. One of the things that I wanted to say yesterday when I was at that bar, but I didn't have time to, is that I kind of like the fact that Montreal is kind of a genuinely bilingual town, at least as far as I've like observed. You know, you do really have people who are speaking English, you have people who are speaking French, you have people who speak both, or I guess I imagine hopefully a lot of people speak both, and that's kind of a nice thing. That's like I think a pretty unique aspect, at least, of cities in Canada. It's a unique aspect of cities that I've been to. Not many of them are like genuinely bilingual in a way where, you know, there's sort of that interchange of culture and stuff. So I will say that that's one of the things that I like about Montreal. Also, I like that there's a giant, you can't really see it, but there's a hill called Mount Royal that if I were living here, I would definitely like hike up every day. It's not the most strenuous hike, but it's fun, and you can have this like really beautiful view of the city, which I've done before. You know, a lot of nice little restaurants from what I remember. I mean, especially even here. They have a cool little old quarter, which is kind of like being in Europe, or Old Town, or whatever they call it. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to say about Montreal. I don't really have many other kind of comments about it. Most people that I know like Montreal quite a bit. It's pretty close to the border, so if you like live in Vermont, for example, like you can come here pretty often. But yeah, that's what I want to mention. Yeah, I'm here in the area of Montreal where it's supposedly they have a lot of street art, and they do have a ton of street art here. Like really, really well done stuff. Some small, some large. But it's amazing to see all this stuff. It's kind of like, I've been to other parts of other cities that have this, but it's kind of nice because it's sort of like, you know, it makes the area feel a little more lived in, a little more real, a little less corporate. And I know my understanding is that these are like sort of sanctioned or whatever, allowed to happen by the city, but it's still kind of cool. You see all these like individual styles, you know, these beautiful, vibrant colors, different subjects, things like that. It's a really kind of cool thing that,
How are you?
Hello, okay.
What are you taking pictures of?
I'm taking pictures of the street art, because I'm traveling.
Where are you from?
US, where are you from?
No, I'm from South Sudan.
Okay.
Have a lovely day.
You too, okay? So, you know, other parts and other cities, like I know New York, they tore down Five Points, which was a warehouse in Queens that they allowed people who are artists of all kinds to, you know, show their art and like paint, or well, whatever, spray paint that entire building. But of course, because of the demands of, I don't know, the housing market, they basically like tore that down. The person who owned it sold it, and it all is now condos. And they have like the most disgusting thing that I've ever seen, which is the 5 Points logo in the front reception area of their condo. So my point is, I guess it's pretty nice to see that these kinds of places exist, and that there are still places where you can see kind of really great street art that is not necessarily kind of devalued by the company, by the people in the city, the local government, that kind of thing. So it's really kind of cool to see all this stuff, and I guess I'm just glad that it exists, because, like I said, it adds a little bit more realism, it adds a little more color to a city that, everything shouldn't be corporate in this world. Sometimes the most interesting stuff comes from the most interesting things about culture come from places where people aren't sort of supposed to be bound by any particular rules. I guess it's one of the things I like about graffiti and street art, Oh, check this out. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Maybe I'll get a closer shot of that. Okay, so I am here by this statue, which I don't really know what it's about, but here, let's go check it out. But behind the statue is Mount Royal, which is, I'm guessing, the namesake of Montreal. Must be a really weird thing to figure out how to distinguish it if you're speaking French from, the actual city. But I've already done this hike many years ago. It's a cool little statue here that says here, what does this say? There are different races, not for strife, but to work together for the common welfare. So I guess this is some sort of peace memorial. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hike this. I said several times something happened after I got to Yosemite, and now it's like, if I see a place that's hikeable, especially if I see like a little mountain or hill or whatever, it's like, why not? It's one of the things I actually really like about Montreal is that, unlike other parts of this part of Canada, it's like not like completely flat. You have some sort of variation. And it's a really nice little mountain. And there's a chalet at the top where there's kind of an overlook. Maybe I'll show you guys. It's a beautiful overlook. You can see all the city out to the river, I think. So, all right, almost at there. So I will see you up later. So this is the cool thing about Mount Royal is that all of a sudden you're 5 minutes in and you're no longer in a city where you can kind of hear the city sounds, but you can't really hear anything. It's almost like it just sort of fades away. Now you're on a road somewhere far away. Yeah, so I'm gonna walk up to the chalet in a little bit. All right, guys. Well, owing to my sense of personal boredom and taking not the best advised risks, instead of just taking the road down there, I hiked up that hill, which was slippery and, as you can tell, pretty steep. I got a little bored, and maybe I could have taken the road all the way around, but I didn't. And at least I'm okay, because it was, I was kind of grabbing onto roots and things like that, and that kind of sucked because, again, I'm don't really have winter weather gear in that way. So yeah, here's level. That's where I came down from. I don't know if I'm gonna do that again, mostly worried about what was going to happen if I had to get down because it's kind of slippery. Thankfully, I got all the way out here. And I think I'm going to go to the chalet now. All right. So I made it up here to the chalet. Yeah, I'm going to keep this pretty brief because for whatever reason, my backup battery isn't charging. I don't know why this happens. I think it's just moisture causes the contacts to short out and then they don't let you charge. But this is the chalet. I'm gonna walk down and then maybe I'll walk back over to my hostel where my car is, and it's a shame. We're gonna have to drive over to Quebec City. I wish I could spend more time here. Yeah, so this is one of the, I guess you could say, iconic views, or one of the nicer views of Montreal, the city. I'll get a better shot as I get closer. But it's one of the things that I guess if you're a tourist here that you definitely have to do. And I guess I did it both times that I was here. But it is a remarkable overlook. You can see over here. You can see all the downtown area. You can see all the way out into the distance. And the contrast is not that great on this video, but there are a bunch of God rays over there.
He looks like, yeah.
So it's a very, very nice.
Really?
Nice little quick hike. Beautiful view.
No, it's for Leonard Cohen.
You know.